What's up?
Hey, Lucas.
Hey, well, how is everyone doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good, thanks. Give me just a second. Initiating my video. There I am. Where are you guys
How's
based?
Boulder, Colorado?
Colorado. Nice.
How about yourself?
I'm in Argentina.
South of Buenos Aires, right?
Pretty close. Yeah, like 40 minutes to the south of Buenos Aires. It's a city called La Plata, which is the capital city of the Buenos Aires state. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. What have you been working on the last week?
I've been working on a couple of creatives for a pay-per-call campaign that I'm testing. I'm testing a couple of, actually, I'm testing just one offer in the pay-per-call industry, let's say. It's in Spanish offer for debt settlement in the United States for Hispanic people. I'm planning to start with the Hispanic market, and if it goes well, then I will switch to the English market, let's say. It's huge. I mean, Hispanic market is huge in the United States. So yeah, I've been working on that. We've been launching a couple of variations and trying to understand what's working and what's not working. And based on what we did last week, I did a couple of iterations on some new ads, and I launched those new ads yesterday to see how they work. Yep. You want to see those ads?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let me see. Can you share my screen?
You should. Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay. Let me open this real quick. So this is a low volume test. Let me open this maximum. So this is my winning creative so far. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear the audio. It's in Spanish, but do you understand Spanish? If not, I can translate it.
Un poco.
Okay, okay.
Este es mi número uno para
Do you hear the audio? No.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
Este es mi truco número uno para eliminar las deudas de tarjeta de crédito en el 2024. Y no te estoy hablando de un préstamo o de bancarrota. Esto es todo lo que necesitas saber. Ve al sitio web que te dejaré en el enlace de esta publicación. Haz clic y deberás responder 2 preguntas. Descubrirás en ese momento si clasificas para el programa de alivio de deuda. Yo lo hice y eliminé más de 23,000 de mi deuda. Aún están aceptando solicitudes. Ve al sitio web y verifica si clasificas. Solo toma 30 segundos comprobar.
Right, that's the winning ad. It says, this is my #1 trick
Número 1 para eliminar
to eliminate debt in 2024, credit card debt in 2024, right? And it starts telling.
Tarjeta de crédito en el 2024. Y no te estoy hablando de un préstamo.
I'm not talking about a loan or
de bancarrota.
Or bankruptcy.
Esto es todo lo que necesitas saber. Ve al sitio.
This is all you need to know. Go to this website, answer a couple of questions, and then you're gonna talk with an agent, something like that. What I've been doing is this. Let me open the script. Where is it? Spanish ads. So I've been creating this type of control script. And then I ask the content creator extra hooks like variation 1, variation 2, variation 3, and so on. So that then I can just switch the hook and have 10 different creatives. The process so far has been testing between AI videos with AI voices and footage like this one, not this one, sorry, like I think it's this one, yeah. So we have this footage. You see, with an AI voice telling the script or narrating the script. It did work. We were getting some quality, but not volume, and the cost per conversion was pretty high. And then we test this type of other creatives, which are like banners, I guess, because it's like the headline, the main value proposition, call now, and that's it. Again, the people that were coming from these ads were really prepared for a call, but it was not, the volume was not quite there yet, and the CPA was high. And the third attempt was with this video that did pretty well, the video that I have just shown you guys. So what I'm trying to do now is to understand what is the thing that it's working. Is it the hook? Is it the story or in the script? Or is it the lady that it's talking, the format? So what I did is to ask the video editor to create 3 different variations on that same video, but with slightly different editions. Like, for example, this one,
Este es mi truco número 1 para reducir las deudas de tarjeta de crédito en el 2024. Y no te estoy hablando de...
This one is just the talking head, as we were talking last week. This one has the same edition, but with different footage.
Truco número 1 para reducir las deudas de tarjeta de crédito en el 2024. Y no te estoy hablando de un préstamo.
Right? This one is pretty much the same. I mean, the changes are really slight changes, but we have different footage as well, but the same kind of organization in the creative.
Este es mi truco número 1 para reducir las deudas de tarjeta de crédito en el 2024. Y no te estoy hablando de un préstamo o de...
Yeah, so that's the same script, different video editions. That's what I'm testing right now. I launched this dynamic creative ad set today to see how it goes. What do you think?
So, couple questions. So you have one creator that's getting volume and quality, and then the photo got quality but no volume, if I understood correctly, with the phone.
Yes.
Okay. What if you combine both? In my mind, what's coming up to me is like, what if you take the element of the phone icon and the text of the phone, and you have that as a banner throughout the whole video? Because as I'm watching the video, but the text is going so quickly, I might forget the message. But if it's always on top, you know, click below or whatever that main core message was, having that as a header or a banner almost throughout the video, that could be a same video, but just, you know, pull the actor down more, put the frame on top. That might be interesting to test.
Yeah.
What I would do here to kind of like filter the stuff out is I would unselect on the ad set level where it says one selected. I would just close out of that one, like the X. I would do
Here.
Yep. And then I would just click on all ads altogether.
Here.
Yep.
That. Okay.
And then I would filter by amount spent.
Amount spent.
And I want kind of like a kind of working at the end and working to the beginning. I like preferably want to know a macro view of what's actually spending and what's working. So in this case, the first one is that one you're saying that is this talking head lady, just like the base one, and it works the best. And you're trying to understand why is it working? Is it the hook or is it? So have you ever looked at like the thumb stop rate or the hold
Yep.
rate?
Here's it.
Cool.
Video hook is 30%, pretty high. And video hold is 6.9, which is cool. It's not great, but it's okay.
And the main metric is cost per converted call, right?
Right now I'm optimizing for incoming calls because I don't have much converted calls. So I guess that this is the main metric that I'm seeing right now. The main metric for profits and revenue is converted call. But because I'm trying to understand the type of business that I'm involved in, I'm optimizing just for incoming calls. Yeah. But anyway, if we have lower incoming calls price point, we will have like converted calls really cheap. The goal is to have like converted calls for around $50.
Got it. So this is, oh, converted call $50. Okay.
Yeah, so far, if we go over the last 7 days, this one looks a little bit better. Actually, there's some converted calls that did enter the past week that were not tracked by Facebook, so it's a little bit lower. It's around the $70. Let's do the math real quick. We spent 415 divided by 583. Yeah. These conversions are coming from the conversion API from Ringba, which is the call tracking software. Sometimes the conversions enter and sometimes they don't. So yeah, I need to cut a little bit more of the CPA. I don't know if it is a volume thing, maybe. But so far it's looking good. So it's what I want to see.
Within the scripts that you have there, which script is being used on this winning one for the hook?
The control script, just like it is here, but without this line. So this is my #1 trick to eliminate debt, credit card debt in 2024. I'm not talking about a loan or bankruptcy. This is everything you need to know. She took the phone and she shows the funnel. Go to this website. I will leave you a link with in this ad. Click the link and you will need to answer 2 questions. You will then discover in that moment if you qualify for the program. And I did it and I eliminate more than 23K on my debt. They are still accepting solicitudes or yeah. Go to the website and verify if you qualify. It just takes 30 seconds to know it. Something like that.
Interesting. Okay. One thing that I've seen work a lot for hooks is personal stories saying, so that line of how I eliminated $23,000 of debt. If the person is somebody that would be someone would resonate with, and that, you know, advertisements, people would then understand that they are like them or they are like her and they too can do that. Is there another question that's coming to mind is like, is there a current trending thing is this in Argentina? What country is this going to be in?
This is running on the United States.
United States. Okay.
For the Hispanic people in the United States.
So I'd be curious to know, what are they talking about at a dinner? Like when they're talking about debt and money, like what are they complaining about? Who are they blaming? You know, what is a macroeconomic thing that they're talking about? Is it politics? Is it work? is it, and just playing onto that, like how I
Yeah.
did this without that. But I think shifting those things, like that talking point first, gets someone in, because someone might have. The tricky thing is, what if somebody has only 5,000 in debt? Will they relate to 23,000? Or if somebody has 120,000 in debt, will they relate to 23,000? So, you can start playing with that, but easiest thing I would do, or the quickest thing, is I'd play with a banner at the very top. And can kind of show you examples later on what that would look like, but just so the message is always seen. Because if your ad is working and it's within KPI or getting closer to KPI, just keep iterating on those variables. Like, the way to find out what things are working is either to remove things or
Yeah.
to add one at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to do. And also, I have this second script. I don't know when I will launch this, but it points to what you were saying, like the first person story, or like something like that, because it says, are you catch in a mountains of debt and you don't know how to go out? A couple of months ago, I was in the same situation. Each day, my credit card debt grows, my credit score was getting worse, and the collectors were calling me pretty much every day. I tried to consolidate my debts by myself, but it only get things worse. Everything changed when I discovered this program, this debt relief program. A friend of mine told me, and I decided to test it. The best thing is that it's super simple. You just go to the site, answer 2 questions, and you talk with a specialized agent. In a few days, I did get to reduce my debt in 20K, something like that. All the process was easy without complications, and now I'm free of debt and my credit score is getting better day by day. So if you have more than 10K in debt, this is your chance. Go to the link in this ad, answer 2 questions, and talk with an agent to start. It only takes 30 seconds. The same lady did record this script. I have a couple of hooks variations to test. So it's like the personal storytelling. Hey, I did this because of this, because of that. I did try it with this, it didn't work, and now I did that and it worked. Like, I don't
So
know,
is
I
the
guess.
current bottleneck just getting the content recorded and created from the creator?
No. That's not. I mean, that girl is a friend of mine, so she's pretty fast doing everything. I don't have that issue, luckily. And I have another guy that is helping me with video editing. One funny thing is that with pay-per-call, if you use Ringba, you can hear the calls, right? It's it's crazy, but you can hear the calls. And people talk about the credit score a lot. They are asking if this will affect the credit score. It's like a pain point, I guess, the credit score in the United States for people. The other thing that they talk is that sometimes they enter for the wrong reason into the program. They ask if the program, it's like a loan program or something like that, and it's not. It's like a debt settlement program. They don't lend you money. They just negotiate with collectors to cut your interest rates. So that's another thing that I did hear in a lot of calls. It's super fun to hear those calls.
So if that's coming up, the objection of a credit score, or fear of credit score,
Yeah.
how can you address that for the people that are scrolling that might be thinking that and not clicking because of it? Like, how do you put that in the copy or creative?
Yeah, I can think on a couple of things. Yeah, maybe like in the script, like the girl saying my grade score went up. It didn't affect my grade score at all, or something like that.
So is a fear with the credit score that it's going to be like a hard check on them? Like it's going to run the credit, therefore it's going to lower it. So that's everyone's fear, is they don't want to lower it even more. Like, is that the pain?
Mm. That's happening right now?
Is it, I was asking, is that like the objection people are having, is like it's going to lower their score? That's like their fear, so therefore they don't opt in
Yeah,
because
their fear is like, yeah, to get their score worse than is it like lowering their score.
but the product actually raises it if they use it correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty important to probably include somewhere early on, like whether it's, and this is where you can play on the story, like how it raised my credit score from this to this. Maybe people won't believe that, or how I cleared my debt and my credit score didn't change. Maybe people like won't believe the fact that it will increase, but if it can at least maintain and get no debt, it's a win. I'd almost list out like what are the win-win situations for the customer. And it's like win, no more debt, win, higher credit, win, credit does not fall. And then what combinations can you play with for people? And then on those 3 ones, like if the idea of credit increasing resonates with people, maybe that's a bigger talking point than the debt being consolidated. Because if your credit increases, your debt's probably going to fall as well. It's like inverted almost, right? Like if you're getting more debt, your credit score goes down. If your credit score goes up, your debt might go down. Sometimes, oftentimes in America. So might be interesting to try the different words or phrases for that, the result.
Absolutely. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Also, if you want to go into back to the Facebook Ads Manager, one thing I'm curious about.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you go into breakdown, and then you do gender.
Their demographics, gender.
I'm curious if it's only targeting females more than it is targeting males. If you just go to amount spent.
Amount spent. Male and female, pretty much the same.
On the calls, who's typically going on the calls that are getting booked? Is it males or females?
Both.
And who's been converting more, males or females?
Good question. I don't have that data, but I can pick it from the calls. Who's converting?
I'd be curious to know if you take the exact same script but give it to a male, what will the output be? Will more males trust males, and will females trust females?
Probably. It's a good insight.
Because in the
What I remember from calls is that both genders are converting. I don't have a crazy volume of calls converted yet to say. So to say we are like males are converting more than women's. But so far, I'm seeing both converting. What I see is that probably male, maybe it's a little bit too early to say, but males are not as prepared in the call like women's. Women's sound like they are more aware of this type of things, and the guys just are like looking for a loan or or looking weird things in the call sometimes.
Because if you're able to break down when you have the data, let's say 3 females ended up purchasing or converting. Well, you're spending half the budget on females, so technically the cost per acquisition would be cheaper just off of that. And if females are coming more prepared and males aren't, what messaging would you need to do to make males come more prepared to the call? Like this is not this, like disqualifying almost on the ad to qualify people joining on the call.
Mm.
Playing with those things, because when you're selling like let's say a general product like a water bottle, it's really hard to like segment this. But if you're selling supplements or nutrition, you're like a protein company. Males and females have different body compositions, so females don't trust males and males don't trust females. Therefore, they have 2 different funnels typically. Females take longer, based on like the way their body is composed to lose weight. Males can cut much quicker. And that's why it's like some of these things are not believable. So people just scroll past them. So the company like V-Shred, for example, they'll do 2 different funnels and they'll have females in the ads selling to females. And they don't target males just because it's just more isolated that way. I'm not saying that should be done here, but it's just interesting to, if you poll and you find that, let's say 4 females close on the call and you spend $400, like half what you spent on males, you're closer to your CPA target actually.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see here. You see, male, we have 3 converted calls. Female, we have 1. But incoming call is 50-50. Not 50-50, it's 80 and 4. Then we have 2 here for this one. Yeah, and let's say the cost per incoming call. So look at this, cost per complete call is $40 on male side of things. And cost per, this is an incomplete like data, but you can see a trend here. Cost per converted call is $81 versus $170.
And that's an insight where it's like you can now do a call, like, you know, if you find out that most of the males on these calls are between 30 to 45, you find this range. Say if you're a male 30 to 45 with low credit, listen up. And you just call up that segment that you want, more of them. Obviously, you might need more data for that, but I wouldn't solely trust this data because Facebook does over-report. But if you can cross-check this with your CRM, you know, if you're at 40 and 170, I mean, technically you're within KPI.
Yeah. 55-64, 45-64, 24-34. 1 convert call, yeah, there. It's not a lot of data, but 2 actually. Crazy. There's a thing with these ads when you set up credit on Facebook that you set up the special categories for credit, and you're not allowed to target a specific age range. You need to go from 18 to 65 plus. I mean, you can put on the headline of the ad, if you have between 35, 64, and maybe it can work, but I don't know if Facebook will allow that. I will try. I will definitely try, but because they have this non-discriminatory policy, right, for special categories, where you cannot call out specific demographics because they claim that you are like discriminating people by doing that.
I wonder you could do this without doing this? Like, what other words can you use? Let's say, for example, you say millennial, which is like a certain age range, but maybe people won't know if they qualify for this. Like, what other things do people associate with? That's kind of what I'd be looking into, like on Reddit, or the best place is your customers. Like, how are they entering the data on the lead form, or how are they speaking on the call? Like, how are they describing their situation? What patterns exist? And use those patterns in your copy to get other people to use the same patterns.
Right.
And I'm sure with the call recordings, I'm sure you can download them as a transcript and throw them into like ChatGPT or Claude and say, what are some patterns in how these people are talking? What are their biggest pain points? What are their biggest problems? How would you describe them? And just let it tell you, and it'll discover a pattern for you. That's what it's really good at.
Yeah, I can totally do that. They have a link with the transcript of the call.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Mm, Can you share some insights about, because what I've been doing for testing like angles or ideas, let's say we want to test the millennial hook in some creatives. What I've been doing is like creating 3 different creatives in the same, for the same angle. And I'm putting all those creatives inside a dynamic creative ad set with the same audience, right? So I have these 3 different variations, same copy. And the audience, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's the same actually. No changes here. And this is a CBO campaign. So if Facebook decides that these ads are worthy, it's going to spend money. If it's not going to spend money. My take here is that if Facebook doesn't spend money, it's very rare that the ad will work. And what do you think about that?
I would agree with that. Considering you have a cost cap, right? Or like a bid cap.
I don't have any bid cap and cost cap.
So it's not spending even without those. So you're on lowest cost and it doesn't spend.
No. I mean, what I do is this. I set up the same ad set on dynamic creatives without cost cap, without anything, and I just wait to see what Facebook does. Sometimes when I do this, sometimes Facebook doesn't spend money at all. Sometimes it spends very little of the daily budget into the new ad set, and sometimes it spends a lot of money and it gets results.
I see.
Right?
So you're using a CBO and you're saying when you launch a new ad set, the budget doesn't get allocated to the new ad set. It's typically going to only one.
Yeah. In this case, for example, today, this is the control ad. It spent $8 here and just $1, 1.6. Yeah, for example, yesterday, $80 here, $15 here, right? If we go to the, for example, last week I was testing, let's do Sunday to Sunday. I was testing with this variation. It did only spend $120 when in the control ad did spend $368. What I was seeing here is that first we were not getting converted calls. We were getting a couple of incoming calls, which is the conversion event where I'm optimizing for. And the video hook was half of the other ad. So I was guessing that the hook was not working quite well. And I did stop this ad, right? But I did let Facebook to decide where to allocate the budget because it's a CBO and the campaign setup is open. So I'm curious to know what's your take on this type of approach to dynamic creative testing.
Yeah. There's a couple parts here. So with the overall campaign budget, it's always going to follow the 80-20 rule. It's going to one campaign or one ad set's going to get 80% of the spend no matter what. And then Facebook will always try to beat it with your variants like this V2 or the no price one. But at the end of the day, because all the spend is going to be going to the main one, it's always going to be on top unless you kill it. The moment you kill it, it's going to reallocate spend and then redistribute to the other thing. That's why I like ABO, because you have more control over the test. You can force budget and then quickly turn things off. But here, there's a fear now, if you turn off your best performer, you're gonna like lose in a short term. But what I like to do is just have an ABO. I don't do dynamic creative, and I'll put the 5 ads or 3 ads in the ad set. And if the spend is going to the worst performer, I'm just going to turn this one ad off in that ad set, and it's going to redistribute to the other ads in the ad set. And it's more controlled, it's more manual, but I guess like we can dive in real quick because we didn't do this. In the V_1, is that a dynamic creative?
This one.
The one that's spending with 9,000 impressions. Yeah.
It's a dynamic creative, but it only had one ad. It's a dynamic creative because it has 2 primary text and 2 headlines. That's it.
Okay. So then, have you ever broken it down before to see where the spend's actually going with the dynamic creative?
Yeah. We can check the text. It goes to this variation, which is this one. Boom. And for the headline, it goes to the offer. Get your debt 60% down. This one.
So then you don't have any data on if the other one actually converted because it had no spend to it.
Let's check that out. No. Verticals and clear, and the image is just one and the text is this one. Yeah, for the text we have one vertical on the other version, but just one. See how much did it spend? Amount spent $19 versus 567. And look at this, crazy.
Yeah, it could also break with more spend, you know, like it might need more data to understand if it's good or not, but that's why it's almost like having 2 CBOs in the same campaign. You have a CBO within this creative test and you have a CBO within the ad set test. So it's like Facebook is going to always allocate to 1 or 2 variables. And it's going to optimize for what I think it does is it optimizes for like the result that it thinks it's getting, whether that's like if you're optimizing for lead or whatever it is, like whatever's getting the most volume, it's going to keep giving you, even if it's unprofitable. But then the risk there is it's getting you the most volume. If you turn it off, how can you match the volume? So that's why I just preferably stop doing those. But it's more of a control than it is of like a, yeah, it's preference. I think a lot of people, there's like the debate of like Facebook is smarter than the human, which I agree. But at the same time, if you're trying to test something, just test it and then you'll know if it worked or didn't work. But with the copy, if it spent $20, you have no idea.
I did try at the beginning a couple of AVO campaigns, the issue that I was facing with ABO campaign is that the daily budget that I have to put, it was pretty high, right? I'm setting up lifetime budget campaigns because I have a call center and I need to schedule the ads for that reason. And when I was doing ABO campaigns, I was spending like, I don't know, some days between 200 to 300 bucks, and I need to spend around 100 bucks a day, at least at this beginning stage. So that's why I switched to CBO campaign, because I just put the budget that I have available, and I put like 2 creatives max, and I run those creatives for a week or maybe a couple of more days. So it gives me a little bit more control on the amount spent, right? I know that maybe it's a little bit slower to test, but it is the way that I found right now.
Hey guys, sorry, I've been creeping in the background for the last like 35 minutes.
Mark?
My name is Mark. I want to say thank you for this. I got to jump, but it's definitely been really interesting to kind of see the process and kind of pay attention to what you're looking for. I'm gonna take a look at the first call because I missed that one too, and I'll definitely try to make next week's. But I just wanted to say thank you before I jump off.
Cool.
And also, Phil, are you in Colorado?
Yes.
You know Nick Pinto?
Do I know Pinto?
Nick Pinto? Do you know Nick Pinto?
No. Who's
I
that?
think that's a buddy of mine. He's out there. I think you guys might be connected on LinkedIn, but I'm going to be in Colorado in a couple of weeks. So I definitely want to, if you're around, get together at some point. And then I'm excited to watch the first week because I know that you guys spent a good amount of time kind of talking through things, but just random little crossover there. Yeah.
Cool. Just send me a message when you're in town.
Yeah.
Or
Sounds
schedule something.
Yeah, I'll add you on LinkedIn next. But thanks so much for this, and enjoy the rest of the session and the rest of your day, guys.
Next week.
See ya.
Yeah,
Mark.
So what would be a win? Like, how can we come back next week and then there's like a win here? Is it more budget? Is it a new learning of like an angle? New creatives made? Like, what would a win be?
A win could be new creatives made based on these insights. Could also be like getting the CPA a little bit lower. Like it's getting lower week by week. So if I still in that direction, I guess I will be in a good position. And what else? And to see if a great win will be to beat this control ad. That will be fantastic. And yeah, probably having like a couple of new ads created, but a bunch of new data organized to create more ads, right? Like getting the calls, going to ChatGPT, getting some ideas, some trends in the call, creating like a document where I can allocate all those insights. That will be a great win for me.
Yeah, I think you'll find, it's funny. I used to always look at ads or data as just like, these are people, right? The number 1 and the 5 conversions, like those are real people. And throughout each step of the process, they're giving you data to then inform you, like you're going to start finding patterns the more you get. And it's so funny that everyone always overlooks that, but all the data is there. Like they're always chasing the new thing. When they have the thing that already works, they're just not squeezing it enough. So, I mean, assuming you have 10 call recorders, which I think you will definitely have, you'll find the pattern after the first probably 6, 7, 8 calls of like when somebody asks a question and they get a certain response, and then they're saying the same thing, explaining their life story a certain way. And if everyone has the same life story, like, I got in debt because I put my kids through college, there's your angle. Use that as a first talking point. How I got into debt because I put my kid through college. And the trick there is, I saw like people in that range were 55 to 64, for example, assuming this is accurate. You don't want to put a really young person saying I put my kid through college because people wouldn't believe that. First of all, you look like you're in college. Second of all, like your kid couldn't have graduated college at the same time. But you put an older mom, people will believe it right away. It seems more authentic. One thing that could be interesting is I'm yet to use this software. I just put this in the chat, but it's called arcades.ai. And there's some hacks that you can do with this where it's like $10 to get a video testimonial, talking head. You can generate, like, they look completely real. And there's dubbing software where you can take the video and then put it into a different language, which I can find for you as well. And you can make them say that what they're saying in Spanish. So you can basically have it in English, put the script in, and then you get the script back or the video back in 5 minutes, and then you can throw in the Spanish layer on top of it.
This is a real actor. I hired this guy on Fiverr, this Jack, for a roofing project that I was working.
Now he's an AI actor.
He's an AI actor. Crazy. We are living in a crazy time, man.
So, like, again, I'm keen to try this because once more people find out about this in the space and they start using the same actors, it's going to get really saturated for sure.
Yeah.
So the sooner, like, if this actually works, like you can play with different ideas here. Like you can have a person talking and then you can have a video of like the phone that she's showing. They can show like a screenshot of the whole process. But just something like if you ever needed more content or needed an older woman or a male trying that.
Yeah.
Interesting, but
this looks good. Awesome. Or gets that AI. All right, guys. This was really, really, really interesting call. A lot of insights.
what's the biggest insight?
I guess that digging more into the calls and have like a process to do so, because I'm doing that, right? I'm doing that, but I go to the calls and I listen to the calls and I pick some notes here and there. That's something that I should like do more regularly and with a process in place, right? And also a couple of things about debt and how people are thinking their debts in the credit card debt in the United States. Because I'm living in Argentina, it doesn't work like it works in the United States. I have an idea on how it works, but it's always refreshing for me to hear American people talking to me about how they feel about the credit card debt, because it's a huge thing in the United States. I guess that I think that last year was an all-time high in credit card debts for American consumers. So there's a lot of people looking for debt solution maybe. And yeah.
It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better, the credit card debt. So most of it's going to be, buying stuff they don't need, especially going into Q4. People are going to I know one thing that was a huge trend like 2 years ago was buy now, pay later. people thought it was like this funny gimmick, but then they didn't realize that it's going to hit their credit score. So everyone would sign up for Klarna or Afterpay and all these services, not realizing that it's going to hit their credit. And people would like, I knew there was an issue when people are buying groceries with buy now, pay later. It's like that's when things are breaking. So yeah, it's like what trends are popping up? What are people like using? What services with credit are they pulling? Are they buying new cars? What kind of cars are they buying? What brands are they buying? Um, just like understanding the human psychology.
Yeah.
But biggest thing, I can show you my screen. I'll show you something that I learned about the customer side of stuff.
Yep. Go ahead.
So this was a brand that I was running for 6 years. And our biggest issue is like, why are people buying a personalized pillow? Like I had some videos like these, like I would get customer videos like this. And this is what people would send me. Like they'd send me emails saying, this product changed my life. And you get some of them, you're like, oh, cool. Like people like the product, great. Then you get more videos and it's like, people are just like reacting to it. Like in like this crazy way where it's not paid for, it's all organic. And
Yeah.
once I got like maybe 25 videos, I was like, there has to be a trend here. Like, why are they reacting this way? What is their story? So I started building out like a function, like this is a different product or what it turned into be. But what I tried doing was I started asking people what was the reason for purchasing, what was the impact of the pillow or product, and then would you recommend it? And I would take all these words or these like answers, export them into a CSV, throw them into like a word cloud software, which like pulls out single words. I started finding patterns like people are buying this for like pets, not people, and people are buying this for when their pets passed away. And our biggest issue was when we get to May, June, July, August, there's no reason for people to buy. No Q4, no Mother's Day, no Valentine's Day, there's no gifting season. And then I started noticing that every single video that we were getting, it came into a back to college gift. People are buying this for college. So then I was like, cool, a new angle emerged. I started looking at customer service tickets. I started looking at every single thing where customers are submitting, like where the most volume is. And it uncovered like people are asking questions about, will this make it in time to my college? Can I go to their dorm? What are all these objections that people had? And every time I got a new objection, I would answer that in the ad. I would update the funnel, update the copy, and conversions increased because of that. And the answer is I'm not a genius, and like you're just pulling from the people. You're just listening to what they're saying versus chasing more. So I just find that everyone's always looking away from the customers, but the customers have the answer. And that's why like Walmart and Amazon have been able to win the way they won is because they're just customer obsessed. So that's why I'm like, if you just listen to your customer, they're going to tell you exactly why they're buying and their pain points, and they're going to exactly tell you how to get more people like them in. It's like a trap almost. Because they're paying for your service, they're using the product. Why listen to people that it's like we always listen to people that are not clicking on our service versus looking at the people that are using our service. Why did they click? What was their motivation? And then you have to come up with these crazy like processes of like consumer psychology, creative briefs, just find out what people are doing, you know? Like for MediaBuyer.com, if I was to find out like how are people using the community, well, what kind of questions are they asking? Who are the power users? Who's showing up to the call? Like, what are they interested in? And that's going to give ideas of what we should do more of, things like that. So it's like listening to that versus like listening to people that are not good fits regardless. It's like a bad signal. So that was just like a lesson I learned, and it's like the simplest thing. And it's just keeping things simple.
Yeah. Awesome. So it's a must. I mean, it's the main task for me this week will be like to transcribe all those calls, generate a word cloud or something, and look for trends. And then create a couple of creatives or optimize what I have based on that.
Yeah, and if you'd like, when you have the transcripts ready, you can just write a post or ping me in the community, and then I can, if you get stuck in any way in the process, I can kind of like give you like a high level of like how to find the answer,
Yeah,
direction. Because there's gonna be like one key thing you just need to look for. It's gonna click, like you just gotta find the pattern. It's gonna show up there.
absolutely. I did that something similar in the past where I was working for an agency. We were promoting macrame kits in the United States for a lady based in California. I think she was in Los Angeles. And I did something like that with macrame kits. I went to Walmart and to Etsy and Amazon, and I pick a lot of customer reviews, and I put that in word cloud. So we create a couple of ads based on the trends that we find there. We were killing it with selling macrame kits. Like $20, $29 the kit. And I don't know, we take that store to close to 100K a month. What's crazy. It was during lockdown, so it did help a lot. People were in the house. They need to do something with their kids.
What did you find in that word cloud? What was a common pattern?
Kids, play with the kids. It helps me to engage with people. If we with my family, it's a family game that we can make. Those type of things.
And the marketing that was being done was not talking about that.
You said what? Sorry.
So the marketing that was before you found this out, the marketing that you were doing did not include any of this?
It did, but it was not like we were not pushing enough on that angles, on those angles. Once we start doing that, we did get more traction.
Interesting.
We
Yeah.
lose that because of the agency. Was the agency that I was working for? It was a Florida-based agency. They weren't treating really good all the clients, right? They were pushing a lot of upsells. So clients were pissing off and they were going somewhere else. That was a good learning lesson as well.
Not be pushy?
Not be pushy or not be like, I don't know if pushy is the concept or the idea. It's like not try to understand a little bit more your client and not like pushing random things because you need to make some money.
There's a lot of value that's like the business 101, customer service 101. You can solve that where you don't sell people random stuff, but you sell them exactly what they need because you understand their wants and desires. It's easy to sell.
Right.
Yeah. I guess you were on both calls. What was I know it was like different. Like today was more of like diving in. Last week was like high level. Um, what was I guess what are your thoughts on which style? Like one was like kind of Q&A, one was hot seat workshop. Did you have a preference or like for next week, what would be interesting to kind of see?
Last call was great for me because I like processes. I like to see how other people organize their processes. Like you show like how you think and how you approach variations. So for me, it's important. I'm the kind of guy that works that way. But at the same time, to have a one-on-one is, I guess, that is more valuable. It's not something that you can do at scale, I guess, but It's more valuable because I can show my ads, I can have specific insights about what can I do, how can I improve my campaigns and all that stuff. So it was quite different, the style of the call. I guess that if we probably today more people join to the call, it was not going to be like this, right? But lucky me. At the same time, it's cool when there's another person showing their ads, because you also learn a lot of things that you don't think about, because you're, I mean, you think in one way and there's another people that can show you interesting things that you don't even imagine, right? So probably have, like, I don't know if you can call it a 101, but like people showcasing ads, I will attend to those type of calls. I mean, even if I don't have to show my ads, I will try to make it to the call, because there's a lot of value there. Like having these insights, or I mean, the processes or the steps that you will take from getting an account, an app that is working, to improve it, where to find the insights, where to find more information, how to process that information in a way that you can you can use that information later to build more creatives, and yeah, all that stuff that came from that call. And at the same time, different industries has different challenges. So you can extrapolate some challenges from other industries to the market that you're working. So it's helpful.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, so it sounds like process and perspective, two parts. Like you need both, right? Because if you go too much in process, you don't get much action unless people can act fast enough. But sometimes perspective, you might be like, oh, I can just quickly change my ad account like this and it's done. It's like a very fast fix. And that's an interesting balance. So maybe if we fit like 2 or 3 people on a call, maybe 2 on a call, 2 different industries, one e-commerce, one lead gen, or one service, one lead gen, etc. You can see how they're structuring it. Also, different spend levels might be interesting too. Like someone be spending $1 million a month versus 100K a month versus 10K a month, and seeing the structure. Where is it change and where is it the same?
Yeah,
That's how I like to learn. I like to like, I hate the specifics. I like the theory. Like why is this working? What is the thing beneath the thing? Versus like this is like do this. That's why I don't like the marketing industry, because everyone tells you like this is one hack that changed my business, but why did it work? Like what about the hack? And they won't even know. So cool. All right, I'll consider that. I have a process I built out for this call, but we can share that next week, like a whole. It's in that Figma file if you ever want to look at it. I'm building inside of there.
all right. Did you share the link in the community?
Yes.
Let me find that out. Where is the link? About calendars.
I'll share it directly.
Here's the post: creative strategy session recording. And
You scroll to the bottom.
yeah, here's it. Found it. Figma.com. Awesome. This is cool. All right.
Yeah, so like the whatever you see like on this side, that was like if we wanted to go deep into like process, like that's the process, like that's the like structure in a way. And then we like from last week I learned it's like have a visual ready and then compare versus like explaining bullet points because my brain works that way, but you might not see what I'm seeing yet. So then if I just create a visual first, then we can build on top of it. So that's kind of like a more structured process compared to last week. And basically what we did today was just like the research, like you can just steal from your customers. And if you steal from your customers' ideas, it's easy to produce.
Right.
So, yeah. Cool. Thanks for hopping on and sharing.
Thanks to you guys for having me. Thanks for your time.
Of course. See you next week.
Yes, sir. I will be here.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.